On today's Saturday news, the real reason why a top WWE champion was forced to miss last night's SmackDown, Shinsuke Nakamura is going to corner a fighter at UFC 303. An AEW star says his body cannot handle main events anymore, and 3 NXT wrestlers appear at a TNA TV taping. Hello everyone, I'm Gareth here from What Culture Wrestling, bringing you a lovely edition of solo Saturday news because Phil has swanned off to Glastonbury having the time of his life. He deserves it. He deserves a little chill, so send him some nice messages, but still send him a few arrows as well because Gareth's here on his own talking about wrestling today, but that's why you're here, so we'll get right into it. Let's talk about some stuff that has been going down in the wrestling world. A big thing that happened yesterday is obviously we had the Madison Square Garden SmackDown. It's always awesome, you had all these people crammed inside the world famous arena. Really good show, really fun show, but something that a lot of the people who were there in Madison Square Garden were robbed of, sadly, because of some silly travel issues, was an appearance from Damian Priest, the world heavyweight champion. Obviously, he wasn't going to be appearing as a member of the Blue Show on TV or anything like that. It was more of a dark match situation. He was going to be defending, I believe, his world heavyweight championship against Jey Uso in this dark match, and that was the plan. But then we had some travel problems because he was putting this. He was updating people on X as this was happening. He was saying that he's trying his best to make it, but he was having plane issues, which were making it very difficult to get into New York and get in, obviously, for the show. And then eventually he said, unfortunately, the honor of main eventing the Garden is not possible tonight. Still haven't taken off. Stuck on a plane in a runway. Very disappointed, and apologies to my people. This one hurts. Enjoy the show. I'm sure will be awesome. So yes, it was an awesome show, wasn't it? We didn't see the dark matches. I'm assuming they were probably awesome as well. I believe the dark match, instead of Damian Priest defending that belt against Jey Uso, I believe it was instead Finn Balor who fought against Jey Uso, and Jey Uso defeated Finn Balor from the notes I'm seeing here. I wasn't there, I wasn't in attendance, so if you did see it, if you were there in Madison Square Garden, you let me know in the comment section. Was it a good match? Whatever it was. But for me, I'm a little bit upset, I'd say, for poor Damian Priest, because it's not every day that you get to be a world heavyweight champion and then walk into Madison Square Garden as the world heavyweight champion. Yes, it wasn't on TV, but it's still a cool moment just to knock off your bucket list, really. Just saying, yeah, I've walked into the most famous arena on planet Earth with the world heavyweight championship. It would have been a lovely moment for him, but well, it just wasn't meant to be this time. Hopefully he gets another chance of doing it later down the road. We'll see how things turn out. I'm not sure when they are next at Madison Square Garden, but fun show. I really want to go there one day. I've still never been, so that's a bucket list thing for myself, actually. And speaking of bucket list things for myself, I like UFC as well, so that's my little segue. I want to go and watch a UFC event, and somebody who is going to be at a UFC event very soon, I believe it's this weekend, he says, yes, June 29th, he's going to be at this event, is Shinsuke Nakamura. Yes, WWE's own Shinsuke Nakamura is apparently going to be cornering a fighter at UFC 303. So who saw that coming? Yeah. He's going to be cornering his friend who's called Rey Saruya. I'm going to go with that pronunciation. I'm going to commit to it. He's going to be cornering him for his fight, and that will be Saruya's UFC debut. He won a fight in February at an event titled Road to UFC. I've not been keeping up with Road to UFC, sadly. I've just had a lot of things going on. Love my UFC, but I've just not been able to keep plugged into that. If you have, let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. So Saruya will attempt to go 10-0 in his professional career against Carlos Hernandez, who is currently 9-3 overall and 2-2 in the UFC. So obviously, if you don't know this anyway, Nakamura's got a bit of a history in MMA. He has a bit of an MMA background. He's fought a few fights. He's 3-1 in his overall record, so he knows his way around like an octagon or a cage, that kind of thing. Shinsuke Nakamura, he knows what he's doing. So he actually said about this, he spoke to ESPN, he said, "I am excited to be a part of the massive UFC 303 event this weekend. It is an honor to be in Saruya Rey's corner," so that's how he says the name. "MMA is still a huge passion of mine, and to be a part of Rey's UFC debut is a great moment." It sounds like a lovely moment, really. But seeing this, obviously, he put this on Instagram. A lot of his colleagues and people in WWE and outside WWE started commenting, going, "Wow, this is so cool." And one person from within WWE saw it and thought, "I've got an idea, actually. This gives me a bright idea." It was Baron Corbin. He saw this, and he's got a bit of his own combat sports background. And he actually has been participating in a few regional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu events, recently, since over the last couple of years. And he's earned himself a blue belt right now, so he's doing pretty well. And he put a comment on Nakamura's Instagram saying, "Heck yeah, come corner me in Orlando at IBJJF." So I believe that's probably an event, whatever it is. So yeah, he's saying, "Come on, Nakamura, if you're cornering this guy, corner your bro. Come on, I'm your WWE bro. WWE guys taking over the combat sports world. You love to see it. So yeah, I'd love to see that, and if that does actually come to fruition, that'd be really cool. Yeah, I like this. I like WWE being a bit more flexible with people, just letting them go and just pop up in other places. Obviously, you've got the UFC WWE partnership under TKO right now, so the UFC crossovers are just a lot easier than what they used to be in the past. But yeah, just in combat sports in general, if these guys have a passion for it, yeah, let them just go and wander around, do whatever they want. They are free to do whatever they like now, which is I like seeing this. I like seeing people pop up all over the MMA and just combat sports world in general. But you let me know what you think of that in the comment section below. If you're going to be watching UFC 303 tonight, just keep an eye out for Shinsuke Nakamura. He's going to be there, and he's probably going to Kinshasa somebody in the middle of the octagon. He's probably not, but you never know. So, right, we'll move over to AEW now, because we've had enough talk about WWE people for a minute. We are going to talk about them again towards the end of the video, but for now, a guy who was a former WWE guy. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's what he is, yeah. Can't get away from it, can I? No, but Bryan Danielson is who we're talking about. He's been having his, like, retirement tour. Well, not like a proper retirement. It's like a retirement from full-time wrestling tour recently, hasn't he? He's had some incredible matches against, like, your Will Ospreays, and, like, he's entered himself into the Owen Hart Cup tournament thing as well, so he's going to have even more incredible matches. And I think this weekend he's got Shingo Takagi. That's in the tournament as well, so there's loads of stuff going on for Danielson. He was talking about this with Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated, but he was saying that he's not 100%. He was talking about a lot of things. He said his neck isn't doing so great right now, and then he carried on just talking about the Shingo match that he's got coming up. He said, "This is my chance to wrestle Shingo again, and Forbidden Door is one of my favorite pay-per-views." Sorry, I misspoke there. That's because of the uniqueness of it. 5 years ago, multiple promotions didn't work together to put on a super show. Now CMLL and Stardom are involved. This didn't exist before. I love this show. He's not the only one. I love this show as well. Obviously, the whole jumping over to different promotions thing, it doesn't feel as special as it used to a couple of years back before this had ever happened before, but it's still, I like what AEW have done with it this year. It's really felt like you've got a bit of a revolving mouth at this point, a revolving door of people just going in and out to different promotions, everything. It's just been chaos. I've really enjoyed it. And one thing I don't enjoy, though, is Danielson's comments after this, because they got me a bit concerned. I was like, no, don't you dare. He said, "I don't want to be in that world champion position anymore," which is what I was alluding to. "I don't feel like that's my position anymore." And he said, "The quality of wrestling in AEW is so high, it's really hard to main event pay-per-views. That's not something my body can really do anymore. I know there are a percentage of fans who would like that, but I don't think it's my place." So that's just, we'll hold that for a second. So that in itself is a bit like, Danielson, what's going on? Are we never going to see Danielson in the main event anymore for AEW, whatever it is? Like, I'd say it's a bit disappointing in itself, but he is in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. So you got to think, is he just trying to work us here? Make people think like, maybe we're never going to see him again. Then he goes and wins the whole damn thing. We'll see. But then he had a few other comments. He said, "And here's the truth. I don't want anything to do creatively with my own stuff. I also don't know where people get the notion that I do. It's very hard in wrestling to be objective about yourself, so I leave that in the hands of other people. That was the same thing in WWE, even when I was part of the creative team. The head writer of SmackDown at the time, Ryan Callahan, asked me what I wanted to do, and I remember saying, I didn't want to talk about what I wanted to do. I don't think you can be objective about that stuff." So that's quite refreshing in its own way, that Danielson's going, yeah, I probably do have a certain level of creative control, but I don't really want to use it because I can't be objective. I can't see the overall story, let's say, that like everyone else would. If you're trying to book your own stuff, you probably only are seeing it from your own point of view. It's egos are involved in the rest of it. So Danielson's just gone, you know what, you guys sort that, I'll just go out there and I'll just do my thing. So he's saying here, obviously, that he doesn't feel like his body is up to doing main event matches anymore. But then obviously Tony Khan and everyone else have gone, yes, you are. We're going to put you in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. And then if he does win the thing, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's still a fascinating read. Go and check it out on Sports Illustrated, because Danielson's just always really honest in these kind of things. They always make for a good old read. But I don't believe him. I think he's still great. I think he can still go in the main event level. I watched that Ospreay match. This guy, he can still hold his own. So I'd like to see more Danielson main event matches. Who would you like to see Danielson wrestle still in like the final months of this full-time retirement tour thing? You let me know in the comment section who you want to see the American Dragon wrestle. He's going to wrestle this weekend, so we'll see that. And go and check out the What Culture predictions video for Forbidden Door, because that's a good watch as well. You've got loads of cool predictions for this weekend. Make sure you're watching. But the last story we are going to talk about today has nothing to do... Actually, no, it kind of does have something to do with a bit of a Forbidden Door type concept, because we've had a lot of NXT and TNA jumping through Forbidden Door stuff, haven't we, recently? And there's been even more of it yesterday, apparently, because a lot of NXT superstars appeared at a TNA TV taping, all the T's, T. Yeah, so they appeared obviously at this taping. Big spoilers here, like if you didn't realize already from the start of the video when I did the whole headlines thing, there's going to be a few spoilers because we've got people popping up on a show that's been taped. So yeah, loads of spoilers. If you don't want to hear about it, run away right now and then come back at the end. Okay, cool. Go right back. So the crossover, obviously we've had a lot of WWE TNA jumping over back and forth recently, and the latest people to do this, we've had NXT to TNA this time, was Izzy Dame, Charlie Dempsey and Miles Bourne. They all made surprise appearances at the first night of TNA's television tapings in Philadelphia. So Dame was the opponent for Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace. That she did another one of her open challenge things. She's done a few of those recently, so she had another one of those. And again, it was answered by an NXT wrestler who is Dame, and Dame was defeated by Jordynne Grace because Jordynne Grace is an absolute unit and probably just destroyed her. I didn't see the match. I don't know what happened, but yeah, that's a hard person to beat right there. So this was actually Dame's first ever match outside of the WWE system, which is really interesting. Before signing with WWE in 2022, she was a volleyball player for Eastern Michigan University. So this is cool. This is what I want. I think I spoke with Phil about this a couple of weeks ago, saying I want to see all these NXT wrestlers getting the chance just to explore the business, really, and just wrestle outside of WWE, because it's a different skill. You learn a lot of different things on the road, like mixing it up with different people as well. I think it's all a good thing, so I like this. This gets my salute. Dempsey, who's obviously the son of William Regal, Mr. William Regal. He made his presence felt. He popped up at these TNA tapings. There was an angle and he interrupted a match between Trey Miguel and Leon Slater. They're the people that he interrupted. He beat down Miguel, he beat down Slater, beat down Zachary Wentz, and then he battered a referee. So yeah, he just made a big old impact, didn't he, Mr. Charlie Dempsey? And then later in the night, he ended up in a match against Wentz, and then Bourne interfered. Obviously, they're in a stable together. They're in the No Quarter Catch Crew stable together with Damon Kemp and Tavian Heights. So they're all together. And yeah, that was just a thing that happened. Like, we're having all these NXT jumping overs and everything else, and we've had them the other way as well recently, because obviously we've had Joe Hendry, Jordynne Grace, Frankie Kazarian. They've all appeared on NXT recently, people like that, big stars, big TNA stars. So it's all good. It's good for both sides. It's getting eyes. It is seemingly getting eyes on both products, so I like it. I like all this. Keep those forbidden doors swinging around and people jumping left, right and center. It's all good stuff. I like it. I'm enjoying it. And have you enjoyed this video today? If you've not, tell me in the comments. Just throw stones at me. If you have, then I'll give you a virtual hug in the comments, if that's your thing. We'll do all that. So that's been What Culture Saturday solo news thing. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Gareth, so follow me on X, Twitter, X thing. Yeah, follow me on that at gmorgan04. Follow everyone here at What Culture, at What Culture WWE, and click on a video. There'll be a video near my head somewhere. So click on that. You'll have loads of fun with it. And then I'll probably see you again very soon, hopefully, if I don't get swallowed up by the YouTube comment section. Bye-bye.